Welcome back, everyone. Wild Willy here, and we're going to get started on episode 5 of the Get OP and Early DLC walkthrough. So we're back here at the Third Church of America. We're going to be heading over to the eastern part of Caelid and running around and unlocking a lot of the map over there. We're going to grab our first Somber 5. So let's go ahead and get to that. First thing I want to do, so I want to make it daytime. And we are just gonna head on out here to the north. There's that little pond of water that we're gonna be encountering, and off to the east, you guys all know it if you played before, the teleporter to Caelid. Alright, so very first thing we're gonna do, we're in Grail's Dragon Barrel. When I first found that teleporter, like I heard about it from the NPC at the round table hold, and I'm like, okay. And I came over here and I was like, oh, what's that? And saw the gargoyle and I was like, oh, who's that guy? Here's a grace. Let me just get this grace and then get the hell out of here. So that's the Bestial Devout. He's the one who is going to be giving us goodies when we hand him Death Root for killing mariners, and you can also get those in certain dungeons. And that's a gargoyle, and we aren't going to mess with him. We have some vulgar militia, which is these little dudes. They will flat out one-shot me. Even later on with more vigor and health, they will proc a bleed and you will just die. So again, this was like a really early farm for more leveled up characters, because you get like 1,000 per rune per one when you kill them. So let's just run over here and grab this grace. You saw the dragon spawn in on the bridge. We're gonna ride right past the dragon. There's some cheeses where you can do where you lure the dragon over here and then you hide behind this tree, and then the dragon comes to try and get you, and it flies up on the tree and it gets stuck on top of the tree, and then it gets stuck in the falling animation and it dies. But we're not going to do that because that's a cheese and we are just straight up playing the game. So he's going to turn around, and this is what we're going to do. We are just going to ride up on him, and he should spin around, and we're going to try not to get hit, and we're just going to run. We're gonna run. We're headed to the end of this bridge here, and then we're gonna turn left, and that should despawn him. Because otherwise, holy hell, that dragon music is loud. This is a graveyard. We can loot for more runes. We're gonna do that on the way back. We're just going to hop on down first. Spirit Spring. Hop on down. And we're going to rest at the Grace to get rid of Grail. And that's the bridge that we were just on. So we came, down and around kind of. So another cheese that you can do if you come here at nighttime, another Night Rider will spawn on that bridge. You can kind of run along the side of the bridge and get him to jump over and jump off. To cheese him. There are other cheeses you can do, but we're not doing that either. What we are going to do is down this way is the ball farm. And y'all who are experienced players, you know what I'm talking about. For the newbies at this point who are coming from playing Nightreign, what we're going to do is we're going to ride down, and in that tower behind us, that's another memory stone tower. There are a bunch of sorcerers in there that are like wrapped up in this giant sorcerer ball. It's a little odd that they summon this ball. They summon a ball that will try and roll over and kill you, and the ball will spawn right as we pass that rock just to the left of my head. So the strat is you can ride down here, collect some crafting materials on the way. When you get past that rock, you're going to see a flash of light behind you, and what you want to do is, we're going to be riding that way, is you want to turn right and run along the edge of the cliff. There are a couple of flowers or whatever that you can aim for, and the ball is going to roll past you and roll off the cliff, and you're going to get 1,925 runes, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I'll do it again just to see. At the end of this episode, we're going to come back here, and there's the ball. So we're going to ride along the edge of the cliff over here towards these flowers. And you can hear the noise, the ball dropped, and we got the runes. You do not need to watch the ball fall off. That's a good way to get killed. So yeah, I'll just do that. Then if you want, we're going to do it one of two ways. So you can ride back up if you just want to get used to hopping on and off of your horse, off of Torrent. I'm just pressing my left joystick in to hop off of Torrent to do that little hop off. It's a very useful skill to practice if you're new. My veterans know that, or you can just warp back. So this time we're just going to ride down, we're going to trigger the ball, same thing, head towards the flowers to the right, and then we're just going to warp back. Okay, so there's the ball, we're going to ride past, I'll let you see it that time, it falls off, you get the runes, and then you can warp back. The grace is right there. This is, a very basic way to get runes early in the game. Purchase things that you want. Like I said, we are currently wearing a bikini and carrying a club. We do not have the runes necessary we need strength and endurance in order to be able to put on our shield and use the Morning Star, which we got in episode 1. That's going to be kind of our primary weapon for the early part of the game until we get the Bloodhound's Fang, and we have the stats to use that. So next up, we are going to tackle the tower. We're going to use the Spirit Spring, and we're going to hop onto basically the top of one of those turrets. It's on the other side. You really can't see it. It's up there in those trees, but that's where we're heading for. And then there's a balcony that we're going to slide down onto. That will lead us into the tower and bypass the puzzle. So we're landing on top, hop off Torrent, turn back around to where you can see the Spirit Spring to the right, and the balcony is right down here, and if you just kind of let yourself slide, you're inside the tower. Put on our lantern. So I mentioned the weird sorcerer ball. That's if you come down here. So if you're sick of the little ball, you want to get back at the sorcerers or whatever, there they are. We want the ball. We're going to come back here later. Do not kill them. That's the point I want to make. Okay, so this is where we came in. Now we're going to go up. Activate the elevator. Walk around the outside and grab our second memory stone. They're going to give us another spell casting slot. And again, like, we're here. It's on the way, so that's why I'm doing it. We don't need a ton for this walkthrough. Basically, you're going to have Blood Flame Blade, Flame Cleanse Me, Flame Grant Me Strength, which we picked up in the last episode. And that's kind of it. Anything else that you want to have, you'll have a couple of extra slots, and you can buy them at the Round Table Hold as well. So we're going to warp back to Lenne's Rise. We're going to use the Spirit Spring again, and we're going to go back up. And this time we're going to go double back on ourselves and loot that graveyard. And let's see, we got an 8 and a 6, so these are actually like worth real money. The 1 and the 3 not so much. Now we're heading for the Minor Tree, and that's Fort Barreth, where Grail is, the giant dragon. And this is another farm that you can do. You can farm the dragon. You can kill the dragon more than once. I'm going to show you how to do that. But in terms of runes for this build, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to just jump down. You want to head over to the left. There is an Erd Tree avatar. That guy right there by my head. He's nasty. He's one of the worst. And of course, it's raining. Can't really do fire damage when it's raining. So yeah, we're just going to avoid him for now. We'll come back later. I'm going to hop on up the Spirit Spring. And there's Fort Barreth to the left, and there's Grail to the right. So we need to do a little bit of basic farming, and I'm going to leave that to everybody at the end of this episode. There's more running around that we can do. If you have trouble doing the running around, you might want to do the farm first. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. So we got the grace here. I'm going to open up the map. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to Lenne's Rise, and what I want you to do is do the ball farm. I will clip back in and tell you how many times you want to do it to get the levels that we want. But what we're after, basically, and you can do more if you want, is we want 20 vigor. Let's pull up our status. So we're 10 across the board. We're a level 1 wretch. If you started as a different character, you already have equipment and some higher levels in places. We want to get our vigor, which is our health, up to 20. We want to get our endurance up to 12, and we want to get our strength up to 14. That's going to allow us to use our weapon and equip our shield. We're going to have a little bit more health so we don't get one shot by anything that looks at us. And we're going to have the vigor to have just a little bit more stamina. So I'm going to go ahead and warp on over to Lenne's Rise, and we'll pick it up there. I'm going to pause the video and do my farming. And then, we will meet back at where Grail is and kind of run through the castle there. Okay? So I'll see you here in a bit. All right, so welcome on back, everybody. We have done the ball farm. Let me show you where I'm at. Like we just talked about, the stats I was aiming for: 20 vigor, 14 strength, 12 endurance. I have some runes left over, and that was on purpose. I did it 7 times, the ball farm. So we did 2 initially. We did 7 more, and we got a plan for the next one. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into equipment. We're going to get rid of our club, and we're going to put on our Morning Star. We're going to go to our second slot down here, and we are going to put on our Great Turtle Shell Shield, which gives us more stamina. Let's see. Do I have any? Did I run across any? Didn't run across any clothing, so now we can be Turtle Bro or Turtle Lady. Gives us more stamina, and we have our weapon for killing Grail. Now the plan with the remainder of the runes is we are going to hop down here, back to the Weeping Peninsula, to the Castle Morn Rampart and the merchant there, and we're going to buy some kukris. These are throwing daggers. So let's talk to him. Purchase. Let's see. And you can come back. I'm just going to get 16 so that we get started. And then we are going to visit the Round Table Hold, and we're going to meet the merchant there, and I'm going to talk about a few options there. We're going to pick up a couple of other pieces of equipment, because we want to be totally out of runes for this next part that we're about to do. Okay, so we have our kukris. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put them in my pouch over here. So now when we go into our pouch, if I hold Y on my Xbox controller and the right directional on the pad, I will throw a dagger. And these are good for distracting enemies. They're good for hitting things that are stuck on the walls if you want enemies to drop down. Hitting scarabs to get them to drop out of trees. We want a lot of them. So, that's why we came back here. So let's go to Round Table, hold up. Let's pull up our map first, and then YXA on the Xbox controller is going to bring you to Round Table Hold. Basically, it's top button, left button, bottom button on whatever controller you're on in order to get the Round Table Hold. And we will notice that Rodrika has moved. She's now here.
Good to see you again. I have you to thank. I can happily. I'm as yet, but and if there's I sir to Rodrika.
And now if we bring here grave gloveworts, which are like the regular smithing stones of spirit summons, or ghost gloveworts, which are the special summons, she can upgrade our spirit summons. And I guess I did not. So let's go over here. I want to remove and then switch, and I want to put on my Fanged Imps. We got those at the merchant at the bottom of one of the walkways when we went into Raya Lucaria. So we have that now, and now we're gonna go visit the Twin Maiden Huss, who are another vendor. This guy is a basic incantations vendor. Since we have Flame Cleanse Me, you need 12 faith for that, and we're gonna have that in a bit when we need it. If you get bell bearings, you would offer them to her. We don't have any. Purchasing, let's talk about what she's got. She has more stone sword keys, which you can always come back and get. She has the longbow, which we're also going to want to pick up. She has another memory stone, which you can pick up eventually. Hopefully we can find a dagger out in the world. One of the little foot soldiers will drop one, but eventually we're going to want a dagger with the Ash of War quick step on it for the abandoned cave to get the gold scarab, which allows us to get more runes from one of our farming spots. So I don't have the stats to use this. I need more dex. That's okay. We're not planning on using it right now. And then we also have the finger seal. If you started as a confessor, you have this. It just allows you to cast incantations. We're going to be getting the claw mark seal from the Bestial Devout back in Caelid, and that scales off of strength and faith. And it has a better strength scaling, and we're going to be going more into strength, so that'll be better for us later on anyway. Plus it's free, so we're going to go ahead and pick that up, and then I'm going to talk about armor choices. If you're not comfortable running around naked, we have the night set here. When you look at the stats, when you look at the middle column underneath where the picture is, you'll notice at the bottom, the poise. This is the very kind of first set that you can get in the game that has 52 poise, all 4 pieces. 52 poise, for those of you that don't know, poise is your ability to cast spells or do attacks without being staggered out of the animation by a light attack. If you have 51 poise or more, you can kind of basically tank a light attack and still get off whatever spell or special ability you were going to do. If you have less, you're going to get staggered and you might get interrupted. So this set doesn't have great resistances in terms of, protecting you against things like rot or poison or bleed or frost, but it does provide some decent physical protection, and it does provide 52 poise. So I wanted to call that out for those of you that aren't comfortable running around naked. If you started as a samurai or the confessor, those sets have good damage resistance per weight ratio and good resistances. They do not have, the entire sets don't have more than 50 poise though. So you can still get staggered, but again, it's better than nothing. We're going to be picking up armor, or at least something to wear before too long, but if you are uncomfortable running around in the world, you can go back to the ball farm, and what are we talking here? 13,500, so you would need to do the ball farm like 7 more times again in order to pick up this armor set. So that's up to you. We're going to do another armor set soon as we're running around, but just wanted to talk about that. We're going to hop back over here to the merchant. I'm going to pick up some more kukris because I threw the one, and we're also going to pick up some arrows for our bow just so we have them later on. We don't have to get to where we're going and be like, I don't have any arrows. That would kind of suck. So let's see. Let's just get a dozen arrows. And I'm going to clean them out of kukris. Let's pick up a couple more arrows because why not? And then we are going to go back over to Fort Ferris. Alright, so let's make it daytime. And the reason we spent all of the runes is we are going to run through Fort Ferris to get the second half of the Dectus Medallion, which is right at the top of the tower over there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the gate and we're going to summon our Fanged Imps, and we're basically going to book it over there to the left-hand side of the castle and go up a ladder. And there are some like bird thingies in there, bat thingies in there, and they will like sprout poison, do like a poison spell, and that can likely kill us. Part 2 from this, like that's our only goal, is to get the Dectus Medallion. If we get up in good shape, there's a part where we can drop down. There's a rune that we can grab, and there is the Radagon's Sword Seal, which is one of the legendary talismans. It adds a bunch of stats across the board to like strength, endurance, vigor, and dex, but you also take more damage, so that is also not very beginner friendly. My first playthrough, I was like dying all the time, and then I just bit the bullet and took it off and dealt with the stat loss and, you know, survived. But, you know, neither here nor there. So the first thing we want to do is kind of come over here and we want to just bonk the wall. And the idea is that that is going to aggro some of the enemies in there. Let's see if I can get a jumping attack off. Okay, and then we're going to come over here. We're going to equip our lantern because it's dark in there. And you can already see these spirits summon there. So we're just going to go ahead and summon. And then we're going to run. We're going to come in, turn left. You can already see the bats starting to fly. We're heading over there past this one dude or lady. She's the one that summons poison. If you get up quickly, you avoid the poison. And if you get up quickly too, your Fanged Imps will survive too, because they'll teleport up to where you are. And you can see they're doing a decent job of staying alive. They're both still alive. Hopefully they can teleport up here with me. So that's the Dectus Medallion. That's what we're after. And we got our imps, so that's good. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to run down here and we are going to drop down that hole right where the tip of the Morning Star is. So when we drop down, there are going to be some banished knights that summoned up, and we don't want to fight them at all. As a matter of fact, they're probably killing my imps as we speak. So we're going to drop down the hole. We're going to turn around and head the other direction. There's going to be a rat there that we're going to try to take out, and then there's like a golden rune 12 that we're going to try to grab. This part is entirely optional. All we were after was the Dectus Medallion. Oh shit, okay, that was not good to get stuck. Drop down. We're going to head around this way. The rat is just there, hiding behind those barrels. See, we do no damage whatsoever. But we're just going to R1 spam. Hopefully we can kill it before a banished knight gets here. Alright, and it's dead. Okay. Alright, and here comes the banished knight, so we're in trouble. So we're just going to hop, and we're dead. We're back down here. That's where we went up the ladder. And the banished knight is coming, so we're just going to run for the exit. We got the golden rune 12. Looks like we're poisoned. We're going to hop down here. Hop on Torrent. We got to get to the Grace so we can de-aggro every... If you die in there, it doesn't matter. That's why I said do not come with any runes. Okay. So now we have both halves of the Dectus Medallion. We're going to grab some more map fragments from Caelid before we head off north. So from here, let's make it morning again, and we can't really see the map. We can kind of see it. It's over there. We're going to warp back there in a minute. We're going to head down and kind of run through the swampy area first. So let's make it morning, and we'll get started on that. I don't know how much of that we'll get through before we reach our 30-minute mark, trying to keep it at 30 minutes per episode. No, the last one went a little long. So we're headed out west. There are other little dragons. That's the big dragon. Big dragon will not get up and move. This is one of the little ones. The little ones will wake up and move and come and kill you. So just run past. There's a spirit spring over here. We're going to drop down. Okay, and then we're going to immediately turn around and hop back up onto that thing. That's Grail. All right, I forgot to jump. So let's do this again. Again, pointed up at this white rock thing. You can see the stuff on top. This is some very late game smithing stones. A couple of 7s, which will get something to plus, what, 20, plus 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So yeah, you can get something to 19. And then a smithing stone 8, which is the next level. So anyway, you can see the dragons are up and moving, kind of pissed off. We're going to hop down. We're going to head over there. There's another church. And this is another one of the... This is a church where you do not want to head in the front door. There are some Kindred of Rot out front. They're the kind of centipede enemy. We're just going to swing over here and pick up the Starlight Shard. I don't use these. You guys can. But again, it's on the way, so we're going to do it. We're going to grab the Grace. Millicent is here. She's another NPC. Definitely, I don't murder Millicent. She gives a prosthesis if you complete a certain amount of her quest line. She's going to grab the Sacramental Buds, and then you can see them. Those are the Kindred of Rock guys. They run around really fast. They can cast pet shreds. They are a bad time. Even though we have a little bit of vigor, we are still naked. So anyway, there's Millicent. We just go ahead and chat with her.
My flesh writhed as a cur.
Go ahead. Touch the Grace. We're going to go ahead and rest. We're going to add to our flask. We got another sacred tear. Head out. Again, don't head out the door. Head out to the left this time. That Sacramental Bud is a good mark for where it's safe to head out. There's going to be another ball that spawns right over by those white rocks. So we're going to run up right there where I'm pointed when the ball spawns. As soon as it spawns in, we're going to hook a right and hop up here. Ball goes past. All right, so more balls are going to come. So we are going to book it down the trail. And we are going to hook to the left, drop down. That shouldn't hurt. You hear another ball. You can see it. There it is. It actually dropped something. What does it drop? It's in the air. I can't get it. Doesn't matter. All right, so we're going to come over here. See this route? This is where we're headed toward, this guy right here. I usually do this part off of Torrent because it's easier. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide down there. So just point towards that part of the branch and slide down. And now we want to hop back on Torrent. So get back on, hop over here, and then hop down. And we're going to grab the seed. And then this part is optional. We're going to hop on this branch and light that chalice. This is a puzzle kind of area. And we light the chalices, and it will unlock some seals, and you can pick up some goodies. It's all kind of sorcery related other than an imbued sword key. I don't really care about any of this stuff. So, again, I'm just doing this while we're here. There are 2 more. There's one on the tower kind of over there, and then there's one on that tower over there. But anyway, we are going to just gently drop down. Don't go too far. You'll drop all the way off. We're going to summon up Torrent, and we're going to drop on down to the branch and then onto that rooftop. All right, and then we're just going to grab that. That's a staff. Again, that's optional. And then we are headed down for that grace. So we're going to drop down, grab the staff, drop down onto the ledge, and then drop down to the grace. Some sorcerers are going to spawn in, some glintstone sorcerers when we hop down here. But we're just going to juke right past them and get the grace. All right, and let's add this to our flask. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. There's some more stuff that we are going to run through this area and grab. No map markers because we don't have that yet. We'll get that in the next episode. So let me sign off here, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.